And we are underway. Apparently, we got 5,000 rupee bounty. We start with 20 rupees in Blink's house. Early money's nice.
Yeah, with pocket money from the uncle.
And we got a map check. There was a crystal on Eastern Palace and Desert Palace. Pretty sure I saw a red pendant on... oh, that's red crystal on Hera.
Exactly, I was about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of nice for us commentators and trackers with forerunners that might do map checks at different times. We get a few more tries to get that.
Starting weapon is a hammer, so we have tempered sword damage right out of the gate.
The hammer is probably one of the nicest starting weapons you can get overall, since it's not only a strong weapon, it's also part of your Dark World access, and not needing to find the hammer in Ice Palace or maybe in the first chest of Swamp is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, so now they enter the castle pretty much wet out from all the rain, I guess. Got some bombs, so we will be seeing that back of escape from all the runners.
Yep. Finding the early bombs in the chest is also always a good feeling.
Yeah, it will get all the all the checks in the back out of the way. You don't have to farm for bombs, which costs some time.
Which we did see on Terranigma's hack already a bit, or spending a bit more time killing those green guards.
And we did pick up the Dark Cross chest and the Boomerang chest. The blue Boomerang chest, rather. We get the required big key from the chest, and we get the map. So we will see a couple of items later on in the Dark Cross and potentially the back of escape. So Jolon has a little bit of an advantage going in, as he's a little bit ahead of everyone on the run in terms of the escape sequence. Now here's a little interesting little facet about the standard mode, is that as you see on the trackers, we don't have the lamp, even though it looks like they do have the lamp. That's because the game is hard-coded to give you the lamp right out of the gate, so that you can clear the dark rooms just fine. When they come out of the escape sequence, they won't have that lamp anymore. And ooh, yeah.
Find a sword in the Dark Cross.
So we do have some and now we do have our main weapon, so that's always nice to have.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the hammer is nice for the damage and such, but the hitbox of it can be kinda finicky, and having a sword just to fend off the more annoying enemies.
When Terranigma takes a death, and we get flippers, and that,
I would say that was the fire rod? Yeah, it is an interesting set of items already.
and yeah, Jolin gets out of the escape sequence. Sub 6 minutes. That's usually what they want to see when they come out of the escape sequence.
Yeah. Etium, a few seconds behind, Purdy Wong, a few seconds behind that, but still, that's 6 minutes 10 is still an okay time. Plenty of game left to make up those 10 seconds if you have lost them against other runners.
Terranigma picks up his sword now. Gonna be a little bit behind of all the runners for now, and looks like everyone is gonna be heading into the Lost Woods. Tree Pole's 20 rupees, really nice. The drop down is a heart piece.
Yeah, 20 rupees in Tripole is always a nice find. You don't have to worry about paying off the bottle vendor.
And the mushroom spot is another heart piece, so I'm not gonna be picking that up anytime soon. Now Jolin and A are making their way into Kakariko Village.
Kind of the standard route nowadays. Kakariko, bunch of items. About the
Yeah,
second most stacked location in the game after Ganon's Tower. So plenty chances to find something more.
and usually Kakariko will say something about this particular seed as we get the shovel in the bombable wall of Lion's Hut.
It will be interesting to see when the runners are decide to route the shovel spot in. This early, you usually don't have it, so most runners would save and quit after the race game. Now you have the option to run over to the shovel spot and check it instantly.
So yeah, this one, and there's the power glove in the well, and that's always nice to have. Now we just need a moon pearl for that dark world access. 3 bombs over on Lumberjack.
So our chances to see Aga 1 are decreasing very fast.
We did pick up a master sword though over on the bottle vendor.
As long as you don't see the lamp, you're probably pretty happy to find it this early.
Yeah, it's not likely. I don't really see Aga being played in this particular seed.
There are fringe cases such as Moon Pearl on Pyramid Edge.
Right. That's it's in the most like severe situations, but given that we picked up the power glove immediately and And we started with the hammer as our starting weapon. Heart container around the library. I don't really see it being played out.
No, only errors on the race game, so we won't pick that up. Most likely if we check.
Yeah, shovel maximizes the potential locations just to one other check. If you find it like immediately in Kakariko or somewhere before that.
Colo Ninja apparently trying to farm for some more bombs. Say.
And 20 rupees on the digging spot, so that's just going to be a save and quit for Zola Ninja. Edium not opting to save and quit, instead going for South Shore.
Yeah, with the gloves already found, you can just pick up that stone and are on the South Shore.
Yeah,
Seems
it
a
little more time.
Yeah. Seeing that now Etium has overtaken Hula Ninja on the way to the South Shore. Those are the things you normally don't have in the seed this early, so if you have them and you remember it, you can save a little bit time here and there.
Oh, I see what PDR is doing in terms of his sprite. He has the randomized sprites icon, meaning that every once in a while, his sprite will change. Because originally I saw him as Buttercup, and now it's Nia from Xeno. Edium now inside Medieval Old Arm Cave. This is a pretty past couple seeds. I want to say it's been pretty. A couple seeds ago. I want to maybe just in general. This has been a pretty high value cave in most other situations. As we did pick up the Moon Pearl, so that is Dark World access for Edium. And we get the bow. Oh boy, yeah. Like I said, it's a nice it's a nice cave for giving a lot of value and progression.
And with that bow, I might expect see some of the runners decide to go and clear out Eastern. We have a fire rod to light up the dark rooms if we need to.
I'm pretty sure the runners will do just fine with the dark rooms. If they don't know how to do it, then hey, they got that fire rod. So any of them gonna make their way up into the dark world, being the first to cross in around 13 minutes. Looking to be the quote-unquote hype cave check, and we did get a map. Teastown is a crystal, a red 5/6 crystal. Spelmont Palace, a green pendant. Ice Palace, red pendant, and I think there was a pendant on the Turtle Rock too.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is a pendant. So we maybe don't need to see the ice rod on this seed.
Unless Turtle Rock is somehow required, and idea making into the quote-unquote hype cave, starting with 20 rupees, another 20 rupees, another 20 rupees, a heart container, and 50 rupees. Yeah, I'm not like too surprised from this hype cave. A lot of money though, so
I would rate cash out of 10.
Pretty much. Monetary, 20, 110 out of 10. I'm not saying it because it's really hype and all. That's just that's the amount of money that they got.
So Etium now on the way to the pyramid.
And Joel are making their way over to. They're making their way over to Skull Woods, and Peter one picked up the red boomerang. And that's a mirror. Oh, this is big for Edium.
Yeah, I fully expect him now to walk over to Palace of Darkness, finish that out, mirror over to Eastern, finish that.
Yeah, this is a great start for Edium, and he's making their way over. He's got the money for Kiki.
This is really, really nice for him. And he can pick up Hogo on the way.
Yeah, this is a big play for Edium. We did pick up 300 rooms and the Tides Mitts, so we have pretty much access to pretty much every location in the game for PDR Wong. And 50 rupees over. And 20 rupees over on Zora Ledge, and I'm surprised he decided to save and quit. He has Zora money.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised of it too. But if he would go for Zora, he might not have money for Kiki. So maybe that's the concern to have. I mean,
Yeah,
with Hammer and Bow.
Yeah,
Can
that
kill.
makes sense. He will be getting 110 rupees from Hype Cave though, so
Yeah, with our knowledge, it would have worked out, but
yeah,
that's
it's
our privilege
actually
watching for streams.
now that I think about it, it's actually I want to say it's more of a Kiki out of 10 because 110 rupees is required to even get Palace of Darkness open because of Kiki giving 10 rupees, takes 10 rupees, and then another 100 away for to even open up Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, I see that reasoning. I can follow that.
Yeah, and Joel Ninja on the Mothula fight pretty early in the seed.
Yeah, having the Master Sword there is very reassuring.
Yeah, Jolen's gonna be a little bit careful though. He's on 2 hearts now, 1 heart.
I'm
He takes
hugging the
he takes a
Master.
fall. Yeah, that fight is not kind, and there was only 3 bombs over on Zora Ledge on Zora. Rather. So Eddie making the making the good play to make to not go for no, that was PDR1. Sorry, PDR1 making a good idea to just not go for Zora. Just at the moment.
Yeah, we'll save the money and probably save time since there's no much reason to go back to Zora very soon. Only thing
yeah.
that might be left is if there's a catfish check. And maybe even that one will be pushed very, very far down the line with the mirror.
And Terra confirming that Pendant is on Turtle Rock. Edium inside Eastern Palace now gets the vanilla compass. And Terranib is going to pick up his 110 rupees. Yeah, I guess I counted right. 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 50 is 110.
That it is. Oh, Hula Ninja, after picking up the full magic refill, apparently on the way to the second try, taking down Mothula.
He's gonna reset his health though. He's gonna take up intentional death just to reset his health. That's actually a pretty decent idea if you feel like you don't have enough enough health to get your way into to get your way through. And we did. It looks like there is a unique item inside Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, will be still a bit time till we see that. So we need at least the boots to have to be able to check one of the chests. Or
And of course the hookshot.
Yeah.
PDR1 opening up a pod and going straight into it. And Joel and Ninja now on the second fight for Mothula.
Starting with a spin, and now hammer strats. Easy.
That really nice battle from him, and he gets a heart container. And gets the first crystal at about 20 minutes in. ₹20 over on the C-shaped house.
Yeah. Terranigma, the first runner to check out Village of Outcasts. I think.
Yeah, it looks like he is one of the first to make it their way into the Village of Outcasts in a harp piece over in the tavern. Or the Bumble Hut, whatever you want to call it. There's the big key for Pod. Terranigma going into the chess game.
Only a hard
And,
piece, but there's a bit cashback at least.
Yeah, and Edium is on the Armos Knights. Not opting. Looks like he's going to be trying to set up for an alternate version of the Quick Kick. Almost gets it. And that was only 3 bombs for the Armos Knights, and Edium picks up his first crystal. Now for Edium and PDR, PRD rather, not PDR. They have the big advantage here, and there's the lamp over on Deepstown. They have a big advantage due to the fact that they have the mirror already, and they can clear 2 Junses at the same time due to the combo. And we did find out a bit from PRD that Pod is not bow locked. Not that that matters because we picked up the bow very early in the seed. So yeah.
Yeah, if we didn't have the bow, it would have maybe mattered. Not only for what we can check, but also for logical checking, or for logic to know which item we might have needed to find before the bow, or where certain items could have been, but with the bow, all of that is.
Yeah, PDRD making their way through the dark room and picking up 2 keys.
So we will see Harmless Subway. Only 20 rupees.
And a compass requires a hammer. Pretty, not too. It looks like it might be in some other. It might be in one of the dungeons. I'm not really sure. It might be Thieves Town.
Maybe it's more likely that it's Swamp Pellets, given that most of its items are hammerlocked.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that big chest in particular. So.
Yeah, might be. Usually that hint is one you are more likely to find in Key Sanity, where all dungeon items are shuffled too, but every now and then it kind of sneaks into here.
Yeah.
It is still possible.
And
like
Jill and Ninja getting the hint that just tell him to walk away. Yeah, if you see a green, and that's Quake over on the big chest. If you see a green hint, a green text with a little link head on it, that's just usually a joke hint. That really doesn't really have anything of importance. It's just there to fill out the hint pool.
Yeah. I mean, not all of the hints which are supposed to be useful are indeed useful, but if we see a green hint, we at least know that it won't be useful in any way. So we don't have to bother with thinking about what it means. Just can move on.
Right. And we find 20 rupees over on the attic, so Joel Ninja has to be a little bit cautious here because he's on 1.5 hearts. And these enemies can be quite a nuisance because they take quite a lot of health off of you.
Yep, actually 2 hearts of damage on Green Male, since we didn't find the male upgrade yet. That's what we are on. So we need to be a bit careful. But there are 2 hearts to pick up here on the way to the cell. So a bit of free fill you can do.
Yeah.
We'll find a
only
small key. So we have to walk over to the big chest. No problem with the hammer, but it's a bit time we need to invest more for only 20 rupees.
Yeah, so Swamp Palace will have that the compass somewhere.
It still might be pointing to GT if I remember that correctly. Since there are also hammerlocked chests and there is a compass.
Yeah, PRD Wong now turns to the Tingle as he's on the Helmasaur King fight. Eddie will pick up his Quake. And Blind saying that winter is a great time to chill. Pretty standard, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, lined always with some kind of bad puns. Tries to tell us.
It's gonna be a little bit cautious here. Any attacks from Blind, Blind will take him down, and that's Blind. 10 rupees, 10 arrows for Blind as Jolene gets his first crystal.
Yeah, and Terranigma on the same time taking death to blind.
Now this is a little bit. This is going to be pretty hard for Terranigma because he will not have the luxury of having the script unless he takes his way through the rest of the makes his way back around the same sequence that he did to get to Blind in the cell, and then back over to the boss room.
And that is a very heavy time investment just to get that kill again.
PRD1 now had mirrored over into Eastern Palace, so now he's gonna clear that as well. He'll be the first of the two. First, if you haven't grabbing second 2 crystals. Well, actually, I'm mistaken. Jolene already grabbed 2 crystals.
And Terranigma using the sword beams against blind now. That's one of the strategy if you lost the script to make the fight a little bit easier.
Yeah, it takes about 3 hits for each phase, so it doesn't really. It's not like it's there's no damage values or whatever. And only a heart piece on the digging game.
Terranigma takes down blind in the second try.
And it looks like Jolen's gonna stay in the digging game just to farm some more rupees.
And leaving the heart piece. Not interested in that.
Yeah, Eddie now entering the Helmasaur King fight. He did, yeah, he did.
17 hits with the hammer on that mask to break it. And choosing to fire up 8 arrows into that green diamond.
Yeah, and only there's a shield on Stumpy.
Not particularly useful. Most of the runners like to find none of the shields at all.
Yeah, it only wastes about, I think, just a single check, as Jolen's gonna grab 110 root from Hype Cave.
At him being done with Palace of Darkness, apparently now over on the way to Catfish, I would assume.
Yeah, this is I wouldn't be. Yeah, that's actually a nice, interesting little play, for Edium. Although Joel might be there to get there, might be going there first if he decides to take that after he gets the mirror.
Going the other way instead. Maybe for floating, for Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, this is going to be a blind check for Edium because we did pick up the mirror pretty early on. And only 20 rupees.
Deciding to mirror back. Apparently on the way to check out the hint in the Dark World where the Ice Rod Cave is in the Light World.
Yeah, this is a very rare check for most runners, checking that hint over here.
It's a bit more seen in inverted, since you then, since you can just mirror over to it if you check Ice Rod Cave.
And the unique item requires the King of Samaria, so that means Turtle Rock, I want to say?
And not necessarily. It is either Vitreous, I think 3 chests, Frontier, 3 chests, and Trinex in Turtle Rock, or 5 chests in GT. Since
That makes sense.
have to be correct in all of the game modes, and since I think inverted makes part of GT accessible without Cane of Samaria, most of the chests in Turtle Rock are actually not Samaria locked.
Yeah, I'm not too sure in terms of the hints in particular. Most.
Yeah, there are some things you might need to read on to exactly get them right, since they're not as intuitive as you might assume.
Yeah,
Big thing is to know, hints have to be correct in all game modes they could appear in.
Gotcha. Anyway, Edium now on the heading towards Catfish.
Yep. And with the mirror, then mirroring over and being able to pick off the mids. I say at him just having a very good routing in the seat.
Yeah, as well as I want to say PRD has also been doing pretty well too, and that's only 10 arrows for the Catfish. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Edium decides to also check Zora for himself.
Yeah, especially with picking up those 300 rupees, you have the money and you can clear out this part of the map completely and never have to return if you do.
Yeah, it eliminates a check from the potential checks you can make.
Meanwhile, Terranigma on to fight Mothula.
And Jolin making their way through Palace of Darkness. And Eddie and him get into a hard pass on the 3 bombs and saving.
Mothula down for Terranigma. Getting in hard container. And another crystal.
So, at this point, most of the runners are crossing over each other's paths. So, I guess it's good enough time for me to say to be sure to follow other runners, and because they're putting up a good performance for you guys to watch on this this afternoon. And also be sure to follow some of our crew. They're putting on they do a good job in making this possible for you all. So, and in terms of tracking, we have Itsude Mo and Hibernator, and of course me and Rowland Sakir for providing the commentary. Until picking up his quake.
Yeah, and on Pure D Wong's side, I just noticed the sprite has changed again. Apparently now the tile is on.
Yeah, before it looks like he was it was the glitchy Link sprite.
It's kind of interesting playing with switching sprites, although maybe that didn't do good for the boss room here.
Yeah, that is not normal.
Huh. Well, it didn't face Pure D Wong in the slightest. Still managed to kill him blind just fine.
Yeah, he got through it just fine. I'm pretty sure it will fix itself. Oh, I am mistaken. That is not right at all. Oh.
That is not good.
Can somebody clip that? That is... That... that is not right at all. Oh, I'm not sure what happened that caused him to, his sprite to, his screen to be all fuzzy. Anyway, Jolon on the Helmstar King fight as Sick Kid gives a little bit of love to PRD.
Yep. Taking down Hamster King nicely. Picking up the third crystal for Holo Ninja.
I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to probably save and quit out of this little mess. I'm not sure. Or not save and quit, but more or probably hard reset.
Maybe it's just the signal that is sent through the stream, and the emulator is playing on is fine. I don't know, since it appears that the ability to play isn't decreased right now.
PRD1's doing just fine. We should probably not dwell on it anymore. We find a heart piece on Bumper Cave.
So we don't need to worry about finding the cape.
And Eddie are making their way over to the graveyard ledge, and oh yeah, right, they don't have the boots, right? I was gonna say they would go for King soon, but they don't have the boots, so do we even open it? And 50 rupees over on the graveyard ledge, and PRD1 is going to do the hammer pegs and also try to bring the bullfrog through this slated nightmare.
Yeah, and also on Terranigma's side, not having found the mirror yet, the decision was to clear out Eastern first, then just walk over to the portal to do Palace of Darkness.
And there's a flute over on the blacksmiths.
Oh, that is quite a nice find. Since you can just activate it right to the left.
Yeah, that is a really nice location for that flute. And PRD1 now activating his flute. The first one of our runners to get the duck. And with the duck, we can now fast travel between 8 different locations.
And I would assume that sooner or later will lead him to the mountain, which we did not see at all yet. It's also something you don't always see, being 45 minutes in and not have one runner visit the mountain at all.
Yeah, we've never seen the mountain at this point because right now, we had it before. At this point with the we already have Death Mountain access due to the glove and the lamp in Thieves Town.
Yeah. And with the mirror and the hammer, we also would have access to the right side, but those that found the mirror had other things or other stuff in mind or to do. So until now, there was not much reason to actually go up there. But right now,
And PRD, he's going into Death Mountain now. And so is Joel and Ninja, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, you have done Palace Darkness, Eastern Palace, Skullwoods, and Thieves Town. So now having the mirror and the hammer, there's almost no reason to wait on the mountain any longer.
Oh man, pick it up, giving Jolo and PRD 20 rupees. And 10 arrows on top of Spectacle Rock. And Jolo and PRD is going to be doing the same thing and looking at what the inside of Spectacle Rock is, and only 3 bombs.
Yeah, runners have some different kind of preferences on that one. Some of them are checking the items, some of them just jumping down and get it. Also getting the hint.
Yeah, that's what I do. Just grab the item and then just go for the hint.
Yeah. I favor to switch it up depending on how I want to go further on the mountain. If I intend to go Hera, I most of the time just check, since it's faster. If I'm going the hookshot, I go for the end. But there's the cape.
Yeah, that was in Tower of Hera. It's hard to even see what PRD is trying to say. And an armor of bombs requires a big red bomb. That's what it was trying to. Yeah, PRD is going to be having the not so luxury of being pretty much unable to not see any hint.
Oh. Hit the switch on that one. Not something you see often.
Yeah, and Jello Ninja is going to be taking a coffee break.
Which Pirdi Wong forgot to do. And found out that the big key still is needed to go up further up in Hera.
Eddie, I'm taking down Blind, as Shello is going to be grabbing the big key from its usual location, because that's the only thing they can really do. If those 2 chests don't have the big key, they have no other choice but to go down there and grab its usual location.
Yep. But having found lamp and fire rod, we at least have plenty of fire sources to light up the torches.
You know, the game expects you to have the lamp at this point. It pretty much requires you to have the lamp at this point, because it just to even get the torches lit up. And everybody's looking for something.
Yeah, that's kinda how randomizers work.
And Jello's going to take the safer approach and the more vanilla approach of grabbing the big chest by dropping down. And so we do have an item on blind. It looks not blind, Muldorm. It looks like.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable with that bomb jump, it's probably just faster to do the safe way, since if you mess up and fall down, you lose quite a lot of time.
I mean, PRD1 pretty much got the hint at this point with the green text, so he doesn't have to worry about that. And PRD1 is pretty much having a lot of trouble trying to even set up for the bomb jump because of the mosaic effect.
Yeah, and now the switch is turned.
And
down.
Muldorm has a heart container, as he now has 5 crystals at his disposal.
Yeah, so what are we actually looking for still? Need a
I
Cane
want to
of Samaria?
say Cane of Samaria and maybe Hookshot, although it would be kind of a disaster to see if Turtle Rock is required. 50 rupees on the floating islands.
Hmm. Yeah, that hookshot can actually be buried quite deep into the seed, having Swamp being only a pendant.
Eddie activating his blue wall. He has the purple chest behind him. $20 rupees on the Spiral Cave as Terra did by Heck on the Helmut's Arcane fight.
And Moldom down for purely wrong. Picking up crystal.
And that was Silver Arrows in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, that is a reassuring find.
And only a heart piece over on K45. And we do have a blue potion for Jolo Ninja, so that's 2 bottles. Aside from that, though, nothing too much of value. Except for maybe this, yeah, of course, maybe the Silver Arrows and the bottle.
Yeah, the problem for Hula Ninja was not having picked up the myths. There actually were no further checks to do on that mountain, so a visit to the waterfall cave is needed to do in the future to progress further into the mountain.
And the purple chest only having a heart piece, and PRD1 sprite is now Cappy Mario, and now Lucario.
Meanwhile, Hulu Ninja on the way to the Swamp Palace, not having found the myths yet, going for those 4 checks that are open in there.
Eddie
without
M
the hook
inside
shot.
Eddie M inside Magino's cave, and also getting another blue potion. It's been pretty kind in terms of blue potions. Pterodactyl taking to death.
And leaving Palace of Darkness.
I want to say that was intentional.
I would guess so.
And only a heart piece on Desert Ledge, as he's gonna be looking at what medallion Mr. Meyer is going to be needing.
Find early big key in Swamp Palace, so we can check out the big chest.
Nice to get the big key pretty early. You don't have to worry about the chest on a later portion of the when you're going through the palace.
Yeah, I didn't really get what was required for Maya. I believe it was Quake, but
Well, we did pick up bombos, and I think that was
Ether.
Ether.
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
so we now need to. So yeah, so that is. So we probably gonna need Canis of Maria and Ether, maybe the hook shot, and then we're good.
Meanwhile, Terranigma finally picking up that mirror that was lying on the Permaledge all the time. Atium now on the way to find out if Desert Palace is boost locked or not.
It looks like PRD1 did pick up a hook shot. I did not see where that was.
I would assume that would have been.
Oh, there's Canis of Maria in the hook shot cave.
Super Bunny Cave, since that one was right before and something that Hulu Ninja couldn't check.
And there's a
The
mushroom. And Jello Ninja also going for the blind Hylia Island check, and of course being 20 rupees. And looks like Check is confirming that it was Super Bunny.
Yeah, there are not much places where it could be else, since we probably would have seen it otherwise.
Now Edium making their way through Desert Palace, the back end of it. And finally, PRD1 is out of that glitch state. Although, to be fair, his sprite is also still glitchy.
I was about to say that.
At least now it's not a constant mosaic. Is that an... Wait, that's an actual sprite?
I wouldn't put it past the developers to do something like that. Nonetheless,
I mean, I want to... I don't know if that's missing no or not. I don't know. The cache is about the pose. We did find that out earlier.
Yeah, chat seems to confirm it, that is indeed the missing sprite.
Yeah, from Pokemon Red and Blue specifically, Yellow has a different missing no sprite. Fun fact.
Yeah, and to say that its sprite looks or still looks glitchy, isn't that completely wrong? Kind of.
I mean, it's ironic because he did enter a glitch state with the mosaic effect, but anyway, and
Etium going back into Desert Palace to check the big chest. We'll only find a hard container.
So for Edium, all he really needs to do is go over to where Super Bunny is, and then he can grab his hook shot and Cane of Samaria. I do want to say though, we might need Ether, and that's go mode. I might be wrong though.
But for PRD Wong, Ether definitely is go mode. Aside from potentially the boots in a very fringe case scenario.
Yeah, the very the worst case scenario being that the big key could potentially be on Bob's torch and Ganon's tower, meaning that the boots would be required.
Yeah, but to aid the search for them a bit, there's always a guaranteed boot synth in some form. It doesn't have to specify the boots, it could be an unique item hint, but there's at least one hint that will point to the location where the boots are.
And no, that's not a big old error over on PRD1's side. That is a cursor.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why is my cursor moving and why has it a shield, that's not your cursor.
Besides, cursors can't really flip unless you're like in like I don't know a word processor or something. Although Chet does have a good point though. Edium does have the unique item in Turtle Rock hint. That could be where potentially the Ether could be.
Was there also a hint for a unique item in Turtle Rock specifically? I only remember that one having one locked behind Samaria.
Oh yeah, and then there's also I think there was also one. There was also one with the Cane of Samaria. I mean, like Meyer, Turtle Rock, Gan's Tower.
Okay. Yeah. Having that knowledge, Etium might just be inclined to actually pay a visit to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the hint is. Well, he does have Quake and Bombos. If Ether is required, then it can't be in Turtle Rock, and it have to be in somewhere else. God forbid that it might be, I don't know, an Ice Palace or something. PRD doing the fake powder, getting 10 arrows off of the magic bats. Jello activating his flute.
PRD Wong now turning in the mushroom for a single rupee. Which, unlike the single arrow, is not a unique item since there are 2 single rupees in the item pool.
Terradigma taking down Moldorm. And it looks like Terranigma might be also heading towards Turtle Rock. as well, or right around that general area.
Yeah, I mean, still having Spiral Cave, Paradox Cave, Super Bunny Cave, and Hookshot Cave to do.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising if he actually went for that location, went for those locations, and Eddie taking a fall onto Moldor.
Yeah, Moldor, one of the more annoying boss fights, in that sometimes you will just be pushed off.
Yeah, and when you take a fall, then his health is completely reset, so you have to do the fight all over again. But with something like the hammer, it's not a big. It only just takes 3 hits.
Yeah.
And but Edium does pick up the crystal for Moldorm, and now he's only just about pretty much 1 away from completing the seed. All he has to do is clear Misery Mire, and he's good to go. Terror picking up his silver arrows in Paradox Cave.
At least Ethium will be in that state after picking up Hookshot and Kane soonish.
Yeah, and it looks like he is going to check what medallion is required for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, having the mirror, it's not a problem to actually entering the Dark World first. So in case Turtle Rock would be needed, you just can open it right now, check, do the checks, and then walk in after it.
And yeah, it looks like Quake was required, so he is going to. Edium's going to open that up too.
Going to check out the hint.
A unique item is in Turtle Rock. We are already in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but Etium just can't go further right now. Just needs to do a few more checks first.
But of course, he's got Super Bunny, and he also got Canis of Mario, which he can grab right now.
Yeah, will be interesting to see, not having done Paradox Cave yet, if he finds the hookshot, if he will go for Hookshot Cave first and then picking up Somaria if he actually decides to skip Paradox and leave the silvers behind.
Looks like PDR1, or PRD1 is looking for. It looks like he's going to do checks at Skull Woods because he did clear Mothula. It looks like. Edium and Terradigma almost practically in sync, also grabbing the can of Samaria, as well as their mushroom.
And Etium deciding to not gambling on Paradox Cave, having nothing, will pick up the silvers and the blue potion.
And also, yeah, and Edium. I do. Well, I would probably should say this right now again. I feel like Edium and PRD1 have a good, have the better routing amongst the 4 runners.
Definitely. Hula Ninja missing the Titansmiths a bit did cost time.
Yeah, but he still has a good. He pretty much. Oh, is that? Talk about Cholo. All right. Yeah, he still has yet to find that Titan's Mist. But Terradigma will be the first of one of our runners to actually go through Turtle Rock, and PRD1 looks like he's going through Ice Palace.
Apparently having
Now-
decided against Turtle Rock.
Now this, the only way I can see this working is if, of course, he finds, if he finds, I don't know, of course, finding the ether in here or something particular.
Well, Terranigmac finding the book actually using up our hints of having a unique item in Turtle Rock and a unique item having locked behind Cane of Samaria.
So that means Bombo's tablets, and I don't really. It's hard for me to say the ped because I don't believe it would be on the ped.
It is still possible, although we would need to find the ice rod for that.
Yeah, Eddie, I'm picking up the book. Jolo finishing off Lam Molas. And now, this has actually been a pretty close race amongst all the four runners. The only disadvantage that I've seen so far is Terranigma not having the flute.
Yeah, the flute not only being required for accessing the Maya area, having the flute just makes your overworld routing a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, and not having it for a prolonged time leads to losing a few seconds here, a few seconds there, which can add up over time.
Yeah, as PRD1 had used some some pause strats to set up for the bomb jump, which he cleared.
Hulu Ninja having found Titan Smith's now following into Ice Palace.
Again, the only thing I can see this paying off is if there is something of importance in progression in Ice Palace.
Yeah, but the same is true for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, at this point, everyone is is heading to a pendant dungeon to find what could potentially be what we need for go mode, which is of course the ether.
Yeah, so the only play to that we are not seeing yet is actually the back of Swamp Palace. Since we didn't have the hookshot for the longest time, we were not able to check that yet.
And we did pick up the magic sack in Ice Palace, although that check has already been used up before. A unique item is in plain sight. Not too. I want to say it's. I don't know if it's like.
I mean, if the basement of Hera counts, it could account for the cape.
That I can believe.
And the mirror, obviously, being on the pyramid ledge, as Chet points out.
So not too useful, that particular hint. Eddie, I'm now heading over to Mimic Cave.
Which we did not see a hint for yet, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, there is no particular hint for Mimic Cave. Joel having a little bit of trouble setting up for that bomb jump, but does get it.
Only a bottle in the Ice Palace big chest.
Yeah, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, all 4 bottle locations.
careful and using the Bombos medallion to kill the Pengators. If you're not having the Tempered Sword or the Hookshot, they are not as easy to kill as you might want to assume.
Yeah, so using that bombos isn't a good alternative strategy, even though it's at the cost of quite a number of magic.
There is some strategies to do with bombs, since bomb hits will kill them with one hit also.
Right now, my focus is on PRG1 as he's on the cold stare fight. Eddie, I'm approaching Hookshot Cave, not Hookshot Cave, Laser Bridge. Only 5 rupees on cold stare, so all we really got was 3 other checks, and that was it.
Ice Palace, a complete bust. I mean, the powder is nice to refill in Ganon's Tower, but no progression whatsoever. And only a Tempered Sword on Laser Bridge for Etium. So Turtle Rock was not the play either.
Now my focus is either now someone in chat did point out it could potentially also be on Sahasrara on with the green pendant, meaning that they would have to clear Swamp Palace.
Yes, since we did not see the back of Swamp Palace at all, that is also possible. We didn't get a hint for the green pendant. So the only way to find out right now is to kill Argus and turn in the pendant.
Yeah, because as far as we know, Trinix won't have any important items in play. Eddie, I'm doing the fake powder again for his 10 arrows, I want to say. If I'm keeping track. Yeah, 10 arrows. PRD now over into Swamp Palace. He's probably banking on the fact that there might be something of use either on Arg or Sahasrara.
Yeah.
Although Edium is also turning in the mushroom that he got for from Hookshot Cave, potentially banking on the witch.
Yeah, but we'll also just get a single rupee out of it. And
it's gonna be
just using the time. Yeah, restock, fill up magic, buy a blue potion.
Yeah, this sea has been pretty kind in terms of blue potions, so he only has to buy 1. So that means it's either going to be Bombo's tablet, Ether tablet, maybe the pet if or Sahasrara, or Argus.
For the pet, it is still needed to, we still need to find the Ice Rod to bring Trinix in logic.
Yeah, that is also true.
If you're hoping for pet, you wanna see the Ice Rod just about now in the back of Swamp, or maybe on the tablet.
No, but this is in the event that pet is required, and this is a pet seed.
Yeah, as soon as one of the runners is able to locate the Ether Medallion.
Pterodite, but showing that the Ether tablet was only 50 rupees. Eddie, I'm going to be doing the other tablet and with Bombos, and that is the single arrow. So that is a unique item removed from the item pool. So at this point, it's either the PED, which would mean that we need to find an Ice Rod soon, or Sahasrara.
Most likely, though, it is locked behind the back of Swamp in some way. May it be one of the chests or the green pendant.
Now hold up, Terranigma is actually inside Spike Cave now. Although I don't think he'll be able to clear it. No, he cannot because he doesn't have the magic required to get through.
Hmm. I mean, if you wanted to do a Spy Cave check, having the bottles you have, which still should have blue potions in it, I don't think Terranigma used one of them, at least I didn't see them being used. And even if...
Do at the west side of Swamp, though, 300 rupees, and of course there's the bombs, as the hint mentioned over on Edium's side.
Hulu Ninja, now equipped with the mitts, on the way to pick up Hookshot and Cane of Samaria.
Jula, I wouldn't be surprised if Jula feels like he's behind in this race amongst the 4 restreamers.
Yeah, I would assume so, since leaving behind the mitts.
You can only go over so long without finding those Titans myths.
Yeah, but having them early, and there is the Ether medallion in the back of Swamp Palace, in the flooded chest, right next to the half magic. So at 123 and a few seconds, that is go mode for Purity 1.
So Swamp Palace was the play. PED not required. And yeah, we're out of there. We're heading over to Mesmermire right now. Although this isn't to say that, so Edium is right behind his tail. PRD1 having a, I guess, pretty somewhat of a lead. It might honestly come down to just the Ganon fights if it ever comes down to it, or maybe the hunt in for for the GTP.
Yeah, that is more likely to be a culprit in this one. Maybe even more so due to the fact that there is still the boots missing, and there is a hint on a unique item being behind Cane of Samaria, which could have been the book, but does not need to be. So maybe one of the runners is inclined to do the right side in GT, in hoping to get the boots along the way.
The nightmare scenario would be if the big key is on Bob's torch. And if it is, then we have to find that boots, and then we're going to be in go mode.
Yeah, and if that is the case, there are some quite interesting scenarios that could play out, since the boots are still possible to be on Trinex, and the Ice Rod might just be in GT.
Yeah, and if that is the case, then this is going to be quite a it's going to come out to be pretty. There might be maybe a position change if Edium decides, if he finds the boost and and if it is on there.
Yeah, what the runners do hope for, though, is probably just get handed the boots by Vitreous. Here Wong here using the spooky action glitch in the back of Misery Maya.
Spooky action is a pretty complicated glitch that I do not dare want to figure out how that works. It's some very complicated setup that, yeah, I just don't want to know how to describe. It's a glitch. It counts in no glitches, or well, minor glitches. Then and it works.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there was a boss fight going on Purity Wong's side as we get handed the Ice Rod.
So now this does mean that now this is in the event that that not Mystery Mirror, Turtle Rock is still required for, I don't know, the boots or something. If by chance the boots are on the not the boots, the big key is on the torch, and while I'm ahead, I'm gonna put on the big key guessing game. Inside Ganon's Tower, there are 22 locations where the big key could be. From 1 to 22, put your guesses in chat where you think the big key might be. Again, the nightmare scenario is if by chance the big key is on Bob's torch. We don't use the bot because this is a daily race. It's not a tournament. Pterodactyl Hack putting on the flute performance. He's going to be activating that flute with the stock. Eddie M grabbing his ice rod.
So one thing that I just kind of noticed is PJ Wong, at least according to trackers, seems to be still on Master Sword, which could lead to a bit more trouble in GT while Etium having the Tempered Sword.
Yeah,
but it just
yeah.
a bit easier.
Yeah, it might just come down to sword advantage due to Edium dipping into Turtle Rock and picking up that sword. But he will open up Ganon's Tower. Again, the nightmare scenario is if by chance the boots are on the boots are required to get the big key. So betting is closed, and he's going to be taking going left, seeing if his nightmare is going to become a reality, and it is not. It's just a blue boomerang. So PRD1 now pretty much he's safe.
So this will truly come down to GT routing.
And of course, a bit of execution. There's the bug net over on check number 3.
And having checked the first 5 on the left side, PRD Wong mirrors out and goes right.
If I'm not mistaken, that is Dark Magician strats.
At least a variation from it. I believe the true Dark Magician would include a full right side play, which is rarely seen.
Check number, we're up to 7 checks at this point.
Meanwhile, I
Jello-
believe Etienne went straight right.
Yeah, and Jello Ninja did pick up his tempered sword.
There is the big key on check number 8, and then temper sword, additional also blue mail, and the boots. Wow.
So there was those elusive boots.
Wow. That was a room.
I guess no one specifically guessed 8, but the closest I want to say is EXT Sidvind, I want to say, with 9. Although to be fair, there was also Trinitronity at around 7. It's like right in the middle. Although I don't know. I'm not sure what to give credit to. Both of you win. We'll say that.
So, unlike PRD Wong, Etienne was still in need of a small key, so needed to go a room further into the back to pick up a small key before going up. You could gamble on a small key being in one of the chests on the way up in GT, but that is not a gamble you wanna take on a race.
Yeah, no kidding. Edium does have the sword advantage with the gold sword. Although to be fair, the gold sword does come up with a caveat with some lag.
Yeah, and the advantage of the gold sword is minimal at best at this stage.
Yeah, PRD won it pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if PRD is in the lead. Or something like that.
PRD is definitely in the lead here.
Picking up that tempered sword inside Ganon's tower was a pretty important one for him.
Yeah.
Switched over to PRD1's stream to although what it will come down to is execution between the runners.
Of course, there are still boss fights to do. Moldon 2. Don't want to talk German. Moldon 2 is just another of those instances. Usually you do that one pretty fast, but there are times if you're sloppy, if you're not careful, if your concentration isn't at max, sometimes you just drop and lose about 30 seconds. And in such a close race, that could be all needed to switch up the lead.
Yeah, this will come down to a mix of either Moldorm, Aga, or potentially Ganon. If either PRD1 falls in the Moldorm fight, maybe having have a little bit of problems inside Aga to or either takes a death to Ganon or falls in the Ganon fight, then Edium might be able to make a comeback here.
Yeah. This for short advantage on Ganon. There's usually the only thing that could happen is missing the 1 cycles in phase 1 and 2 for POD1, but that is not that much time. This just would be lost there.
Yeah, like I said, pretty minuscule. Edium looks like he was refilling his hearts there. PRD1 now on the Aga 2.
Was a very nice setup for triple, only Aga didn't want to.
There's the triple.
And one more to finish it up.
Now all PRD has to do is take care of Ganon, and it'll be a pretty much be his race to it'll be his race.
Yeah, Hulu Ninja picking up the ether, now into go mode as PRD1 enters Ganon.
This is going to come down again to potentially if PRD1 either takes a fall here or takes a death.
Yeah, as Ethium struggling a bit more with Aga 2. Missing 1 shot there, but PRD1 already in phase 3. So, aside from getting a bit too close to Ganon or jumping down into one of the pits, that should be the win for PRD1 here on the restream. Yeah, 2 double hits with silvers.
And PRD1 finishes the race. Although he does finish the race, but though there is a little bit of a clause. He has technically finished in 10th place, although to be fair, he cannot use any sprite changers throughout this race. So he has no other choice but to forfeit the race. But we'll say that he is finished in 10th place with I guess his time of 1:38.40. I don't know what the clause is for that, and then. See if we can get him for a post-game interview if that's possible.
And Etium, having finished up Ganon, is about to walk over that 1x3 bridge and finishes out in true 10th place, would have been 11th place within time of 1:39.39.
And we're joined by PRD1. GG, man.
GG's.
So, I actually didn't even know about the whole sprite chain being illegal thing. That was kind of new to me, but.
Yeah, you should only use official sprites because if you use custom sprites, like it could change how much lag you have, which might give you an unfair advantage. And I don't even know like what the sprite changer does in terms of lag, but it's best not to put this as a real race result. But I hope it's entertaining for the viewers. That's why I did it.
I did remember seeing the mosaic blind glitch thingy. That was. I'm surprised you were able to make it there through without any problems.
Yeah, I tried to delay the cancellation of that for as long as possible, because I'm pretty sure if I went into Skull Woods or if I fluted away, that it would go away, or even if I mirrored in a dungeon. So I tried to avoid that for as long as possible. Again, just to let the viewers see what it's like.
And we're also joined by Eddie M. GG, man.
Hey, geez, thanks. What happened? PRD1, you were using something not allowed, is that?
I want to bet he was using the. I think he was using the randomized sprites setting.
Oh, that. That's, that's funny.
Yeah, and that's technically kind of a. I want to. That can't because it counts as a sprite changer. I want to say.
Yeah, I guess wouldn't be allowed for races, but it's fun anyway.
Yeah.
But, as for the seed, that was a pretty straightforward seed, I think. I just kind of went to crystals and cleared the overworld nearby, and everything fell into my lap till that ether medallion. Then it was like, choose your pendant dungeon. So I went to Turtle Rock first because I was just happened to be there, and that is not where ether was. So, but I mean, if ether was in Turtle Rock, I would have done really well in this one.
Yeah, that book had also led to some other checks with Bombas and Eve.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it at least gave me a sword. How about that GT Big Key room? That was hype. The sword, armor, and the boots, and then the big key. It was just like, wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm behind. I'll just, open up a few more chests just to see what happens. And it was crazy.
Yeah, that was a big one, and keep in PRD1 had a sword disadvantage going in, and with the Master Sword, when he found that that Tempered Sword, then that pretty much gave him good advantage.
I think also that mosaic blind might have saved me a little bit because I got up to Turtle Rock and I had no idea what the medallion was, so I just left it for later. Otherwise, I probably would have dipped in to see what was in there.
I like these seeds where things open up really early. Like I had Dark World access about 12 minutes in, and there were just so many options. I like these kind of seeds where there's sort of a lot of different options, and then it just allows you to be kind of creative in your routing. Very non-linear. So yeah, that was a fun seed for me.
Yeah, it was really fun to see for us to watch too. Okay. Jello now inside Ganon's tower, Terranigma inside Meyer.
I was a little worried that Hookshot was going to be somewhere stupid, and that this might be a hover seed, but luckily it was just in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to put off going up to Death Mountain until I found the hookshot because of the hint. But eventually there's just too much to do up there. And
Which hint?
really, there was a hint that was like a unique item is in Hookshot Cave.
Oh, I totally forgot that hint. I think I got it and forgot to write it down. Where was it?
I don't remember at all.
It was kind of early, I would say.
So it looks like
guess.
looks like you went to Ice Palace and I went into Turtle Rock. So I guess that's kind of the main difference between us.
Yeah, I I think I normally would have gone into swamp, but with all my shenanigans, I felt like I guess I felt like I was more behind than I really was. And so I thought, well, most people probably would go into swamp, so let me just see what's in Ice Palace.
You wrote,
get-
this seems fine or something in chat. What was that about?
That was after I was running around with the Mosaic Blind for a while. Just wanted to make sure the commentators knew that like my whole system wasn't hosed or anything.
And Terranigma looks like he's heading towards the Swamp Palace area.
Isn't he in Go mode?
Looks like it.
Oh really?
Maybe just not realizing it.
Oh
Maybe
yeah, that's true.
Thinks he needs boots or something? I don't know.
Oh yeah, he thinks that that the boots might be inside Ganon's tower. That might be what's he's thinking that might be thinking. Or not the boots, not that the boots. It's like doesn't really know that the boots are inside Ganon's tower and thinks that the big key is on there.
Alright, I think there was a hint for armor being on
Yeah.
the Great Bomb, and maybe that's what he's going for right now. That would make kind of sense.
Yeah, I didn't really care about the armor. I had 3 bottles and a flute to get right to the potion shop, so I had tons of safeties.
So I guess while Jello's climbing up the tower, I'm gonna probably I'm just gonna give out some more finishers. Mr. Paz in 11th with a time of 1:40.27. It would be technically be 11th. He's just a boy. Technically 12th in time of 1:41.05. Illis in 13th with a time of 1:42.10. Fear Agent with a time of 1:42.29. Mekon with a time of 1:44.15. And in the name of DT, in the name of DT, with a time of 1:44.40. Dataplet in technically 17th with a time of 1:46.17. The lane in technically 18th with a time of 1:48.18, and Gamer Cal with a time of 1:40.23.
Alright, I'm gonna step out. Thanks to you guys for commentating and tracking. That was fun.
No problem.
Yeah, I'll go too. But thanks for doing everything, and I'll definitely rewatch it to see what the reactions were.
Alright. Terradata opening up again his tower.
Meanwhile, Hulinder onwards to Alga 2.
Terranigma and to be pretty glad to see that the it's just a boomerang on the on Bob's torch. And Jello takes care of Aga 2. Okay, Jello, he's dead already.
Terranigma deciding to do a full left side in GT. Spending a bit more time on the search for the big key.
Now for Jello, if by some chance he does fall, this won't be as big of a time loss for him since Terra is still looking for that big key.
And Ganon is down. Now there's only the bridge to cross for Kula Ninja. And the seed is finished in 22nd place with a time of 1:52 and 13 seconds. Having Nalle finishing 20th and with a time of 1:49 and 10 seconds, and Slowpoke 316 in 21st place with 1 hour 49 and 17 seconds.
Yeah, this is quite a run back for Jello, feeling like he was behind and managed to run it back through. It's really nice to see him succeed like that. We'll try to get him for a post-game interview.
Yeah, Terranigma now using here a bomb jump here, since the boots are still being missed. Most of the time, if you are in this room, you are able to just bonk over from one of the two pods there. But sometimes there are those not just available, and you have to find other means, and the bomb jump is one of them. I mean, you could do the intended way of doing that room by lighting one of the torches, so that you can see where the floor is, but who does that?
Yeah.
Who does things the intended way in randomizers? I mean, would we even play this game if we had to do Ice Palace the intended way every time?
No, not at all.
Terranigma hack on the way to the one of the best GT rooms I have ever seen. I still can't get over that room. Picking up his big key and is out.
And now Terra making their way into up the tower.
Yeah, from here on out, it is only execution left. It's what you have to do every seed. The only thing that would change between seeds is the kind of equipment you have.
I'm gonna announce a couple of things regarding what's coming up for tonight. Later on down the road here on Speed Gaming. Coming up at around 6 o'clock, we have the Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland 80% tournament at around 6. 7 o'clock, we have the Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo tournament. And also on 7 o'clock, we have the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer Galactic Pod Racing Circuit. Wait a minute. Okay, then. You can check those times. You can find them on the main Speed Gaming channels. Here on the Double Anti-Bingo tournament can be found here on Speed Gaming 2, and the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer tournament can be found here. I want to say tournament here on Speed Gaming. And later on down the road too, we have on the 7:30. We also have the Wind Waker Randomizer tournament at 7:30 on the Speed Gaming 1 channel. Also at Speed Gaming 6, we also have the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer Galactic Pod Racing Circuit. And then on 9 o'clock, we have the Super Metroid Link to the Past Randomizer Combo Community Race. And the next 9 o'clock daily race here. You can find those on Speed Gaming 5 and 3. We are joined by Jello Ninja, GG.
Oh, GG. That was an unfortunate seed for me.
Ooh. Yeah, it definitely was a pretty wild seed. So what were your thoughts when you finally got that Ether tablet? Or not Ether, just the Ether cell?
Ether was expected it to be. It seems like the free sword, and that was it. It was more, it's for so long and then being available from like 3 minutes in.
Yeah. It's unfortunate if you making those kinds of decisions and then are looking for the mids for half an hour. If you could have them earlier, you would have been able to pick up the hookshot and the Cane of Somari on your first trip to Death Mountain. That is rando. That happens.
Yeah, well, I mean that room in GT, that doesn't really happen often.
How did you like that room with the big key?
It was a great room. If it was earlier in the game. Here's a Climb GT package.
But I guess too, I don't really have anything else to say too. But any of final thoughts on the entire?
See, it started out great, and then it sort of went do Flipper's stuff instead of literally 5 crystal dungeons. Pretty hard.
was what the rest ends up. We also have Super Metroid Go Tournament on Speed Gaming 2. Any information, click below to the Speed Gaming schedule. If you want to get the entire schedule that I just wrote, just said. At around 10 o'clock tomorrow on. And we also do have the another one of the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer Galactic Pod Racing Circuit tournament. At 5 o'clock, we will have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer tournament, the glitched tournament to be precise. 6 o'clock, we also have the Final Fantasy Randomizer, Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Spring Tournament. Around 3 o'clock, this is in no particular order, honestly. Kirby Nightmare and Dreamland 80% tournament. And on 9 o'clock, we have Zelda 2 Randomizer Weekly Race. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. So if you want to check those out, be sure to be following all the Speed Gaming channels from Speed Gaming 1 to 2 through 6. And if you're in any country that can, if you can speak another language, there's the one for Dutch, Spanish, and I think French.
Terranigma now finally dropping into Ganon. Can fight that big pig. Now onto phase 3, having used the cape strats. If you have half magic and the tempered sword, you can just switch on the cape and slash away to have pretty easy first 2 phases of Ganon.
Right.
Watching the fire bed, getting the torch glitch with the fire rod. Something which I tend to struggle a bit with, getting that timing right. But having the silvers, the torch glitch, not really that much needed. Nice to have if you're low on magic. Good if you want to. If you want to keep up the timing.
Oh. And Pterodactyl Hack has finished in 26th place with a time of 2:06:09, sniped by Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna in 25th place with a time of 2:06:04. Get your GCs in chat for all the four runners. We'll try to get him for a post-game interview. And we're joined by Pterodactyl. GG, man.
GG. First, I need to apologize because my controller keeps disconnecting and the emulator does not accept the reconnection of the controller, so I had to close the emulator and start it again. That was a huge problem. I'm sorry about that.
It's all fine. It explains the death early on, the very beginning of the seed with this game sequence.
The controller broke down and then I died.
Yeah, I noticed that, but I guess I don't know. I don't want to ask, but any what's your overall thoughts on the seed?
Oh well, it was a pretty nice seed actually. I tried to do the Turtle Rock play, but it didn't pay enough. I got Temper Sword, that was nice, but I thought at least I would get Flute, but Flute was somewhere else. So, but it was a nice seed.
Yeah, it was an interesting seed to watch. There's one thing I wanna inform you of, since you only picked up the big chest of the big key in the right side of GT. You did miss out on the other 3 chests, and it was quite interesting what was in there. It was a sword, an armor, and the boots.
Ah, okay, yeah. I was like, I just want to complete it and don't even bother looking to it. I even got the armor in before I went to GT, just in case I may not find the armor. And I'm lucky I did that.
Yeah. I mean, you did finish out fine, so it didn't really matter that you skipped up those 3 things, but it was kind of funny to see that room.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got, really.
Yeah, I have nothing else either.
So I guess this is just about time we wrap this up. So want to thank all of the racers for providing a great race. Jello Ninja, PRD1, Pterodactyl Hack, and Edium. Thank all the trackers and those, and that was Itsudemo and Hibernator for clicking those buttons behind the scenes and getting everything up to date. And then we also have, I have to thank my co-commentator, Talon around Zakir for for helping me be not lonely and in this commentary booth.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you did an amazing job, and I was also here to say some stuff. So,
Thank you very
if
much.
you're having me again, always a pleasure.
Alright, yeah, thank you very much. So, be sure to take a look at the schedule below, see what's coming up. But until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.